Hello everybody and welcome to the November 2022 update from Clydebridge Station. This month's update is the last one that will feature those opening titles that you just saw. Take a look at them again. And also take a look at the tunnel mouth in particular, because that's going to be the main focus of this month's update. I'm upgrading the tunnel. In addition to upgrading the tunnel, I'll be doing some work on the waste ground on the street scene, and I'll also I'll also be planning out for a couple of little structures that I'll have to sit up on the roof of the shopping centre to simulate the rooftop car park entrances for pedestrians. So that's what's going to come on this month's update. I'll be giving out layouts throughout the programme for you to go and check, and I'll also be giving you out a couple other people to check. And one I'm going to start off with straight away is a gentleman called Eric Burgett. Now, he's a country music singer from America. When you think about country music singers such as Dolly Parton, John Pardee, Brad Paisley, they play guitar. Eric Burgett is very different in that he plays keyboards and piano, so go and check him out, and I've put in the top right hand corner there a link to him performing one of his hit singles, Raised, at the Grindhouse in Nashville. He's pretty good. I think you'll like him. So with all of that in mind, it's time to get underway with this month's update, and we're going to start off down at the tunnel. So if you're ready, all aboard. Enjoy the programme. Now with that first bit in place, I think it'll be easier now if I show you how I'm going to plan to put these bits together. And you'll need some of this. It's your card, and as you see I could bend it in there. I need to really have a tripod to do this with, but we'll come to that in a minute. Now, one problem I'm going to have straight away is when I'm doing the roof here, obviously these are going to be angled. I don't know how I'm going to get it done for the other side yet. Honestly, I haven't a clue, so I've got plenty of time to think about that. So what I'll do is I have a tripod. And what we shall do is I'll get the tripod on. It's a little mini tripod, by the way, so you can get these from various retailers, I'm led to believe. And just put it down like that, and I think you can adjust this. Well, I say I think I can adjust it, but goodness knows how. But anyway, what I'll do, I'll try and do it this way so you can see me, in fact, because there's a bit of a shadow. Let's try it that way. Right, as I say, I've got here the scale model scenery TX0400 bricks, and I've made up another piece of card there. What I'm actually got to do is get another piece of card stuck on like that. That'll then be left to dry for a couple of minutes, and it'll go in like that. And what I'll have to also do is make sure that I have the surplus bits cut off, so I'll probably have to wait until it's all glued up so I can actually do that. And this is just normal card that I've got from Ryman the stationer, so all I'm doing is using Yoo-Hoo glue to stick that onto there, leave it to dry for a few minutes, then add my brick to it, leave that to dry for a few minutes, and then glue it in, leave it to dry for a few minutes. Okay, there's a theme here, and then cut off the surplus. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of that now, and when I say the rest of it, I mean that on this side here, I've still got to work out for this drop here. So I'll cark on and do the rest of that now. Right, I'm not at all happy with how that is going so far, so I'm going to try an alternative way. And that's what your alternative way would look like. Put it onto one sheet and then fold it over like that. So I think I'm going to try that instead. Now, what I will do as well though is keep these other bits on, because we'll do a sort of backing area. So what I need to do is fold that bit there, so I know where to cut when I get the second bit on. Then put some paper on, and if that goes to plan and good and well, now I'll give you a couple of layouts to go and check out who have got some work done to them. Barnabas Junction, he's actually just been doing some work on his tunnel, ironically enough. So go and check him out on YouTube, and also check out New Durham Junction. He's been getting some new locomotives recently. Right, so well, this is going to, as I say, it didn't go to plan as I expected, so it looks like I'm going to have to try take two. Bear with me. Attempt number 2 looks to be a bit better. So it's a lot more darker in there now, and I've got a bit more improvement done to the roof. I'm going to have to do some more with the roof. I have a plan for that though, which I will get onto. Whilst we're watching this video, I'll just get you to check out a couple other layouts as well. If you check out West Blythe MPD set in Northumberland, and if you check out Ebsworth Street, my good friend Greg Marshall runs that, set in the southern region. Now I'll just let you see in there, and you can see how cavernous that is. So it looks okay, but obviously what I've now got to do is up here. I've got to try and cover this bit over with walling as well, so that'll be my next job, and then I can get this bit here fixed. Now, to get the walling on there done, it's just simply going to be a case of putting a piece over like that. I don't know how well I can do that now. I'll have to stick a piece on like that in order to cover that bit there. So that's what I'm going to do next. Well, I was a bit stupid because I went and wasted some of the brick paper, because it now turns out I didn't actually need it after all. Lesson learnt. But anyway, that's the tunnel mouth, tunnel lining done now. Obviously you won't see it on this side, so it doesn't matter. And I've got this side of the tunnel mouth done. Grey board will have to come along there, and I've cut a new one, because I don't know if you notice it's actually to a slightly different shape. That is the old one. You can see it's a bit narrower compared to the new one. Now, where did I put the new one? Oh, here it is. That'll need to get cut down a little bit, and then wrap it in brick, put it on, and I'll get more walling across there, which will then mean we can get on with the landscaping. So I'm going to go away and do that right now, and whilst I'm doing that, why not go and check out Everard Junction and Dean Park Station here on YouTube. I'm sure they'll be grateful for your company. And also check out the Railway Modellers Club, who actually gave me some advice for a lot of aspects of this layout as well. So that's this bit of the tunnel arch now in position. I have to confess, what I've done is I had to actually pin it on. So I've used some more brick to cover it over. And then obviously I've got this bit here. Now what I'm going to do is, for that bit, I've got the grey board here. You can just make out got a strip cut, and I'm going to make it a double strip, and that'll actually sit in there, wrapped in the brick, and then that'll be the actual tunnel complete and the tunnel mouth. Obviously I've got landscaping to do, but we'll be coming back to that later on in the video. So I'm going to get the what I'll call, let's call it the keystone cut, and get it wrapped and then into position, see how it looks. That's the tunnel complete. That's the centre section in. What I had to do with the centre section, the keystone, was actually to end up pinning it, and then I've covered it over, because you could see the joins between the sections. I've covered it over with other bits of spare brick that I had, so from a distance you can't really tell. What I'm going to now do is leave all that to dry for about 24 hours, and then I'll come down and we'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it, and I'll run make a couple of clips of trains coming in and out, so you can get an idea of what it's like. And that'll then be that bit complete. And as I say, later on in the video I'll be coming back to do the landscaping there, get that all sorted out above the tunnel. Give a check out this layout that I'm going to tell you about, March West TMD. If you give him a check out, please. And also you check out Eden Road on YouTube and on Twitter as well. That's a good friend of mine, Ryan Gray, who's involved with the Cooper Model Railway Club, that has that layout, Eden Road TMD. And in fact I interviewed Ryan about that layout when I visited the Falkirk show in 2019. So I say I'll leave that for until the next morning, but you won't have to wait too long. You just have to wait a few seconds, and we'll have a couple of shots of trains running out of that tunnel. Model railways aren't plain sailing, believe me, I know about that, and that's actually the case here. This next bit is going to show you some problems that I'm encountering and how I'm going to solve them, or have already solved them. We'll start off here with these signal gantries, because under testing I've actually noticed that they drooped down a little bit, and 628 here was actually getting stopped by this signal. So I've got a couple of bits of grey board, took this top off, stuck the grey board in there and raised the signals up a little bit. 47708 is passing under that just enough. I'll leave that now. These ones seem to be all fine as well, but I'll have to obviously keep an eye on them. Worst case scenario, I may have to order new signal gantries and rebuild them with the bases higher up. That's the worst case scenario. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I have to have it at the back of my mind that it might well happen. Other problems, well, you can look at this here. Okay, so that's it all pinned together there. this will need to get redone at some point. And I've put a pin in just there as well, so it's held it on together. The pins are visible, so clearly I'm going to have to sort out those sections at some point in the future. I've not done here yet because it's okay at the moment, but so that might change. What also means I'll have to do is to sort out the landscaping at the bottom here, but not a terrible issue. It can easily be sorted out with more ballast through time, so not a great thing, but not a great problem to solve either. Can easily be solved. And obviously here, I've obviously covered the nails over here, so that's got that down a bit better. I might need to put another one in there, so I'll keep an eye on that. Now these coaches were the ones that were rubbing against. I'll probably, depending upon how good I am, try the dry brushing technique on here, which may end up hiding some of this dirt as well, some of these joins as well, you see, like so there, so I may well end up doing that. I'll have to obviously say redo here, and luckily I've got some spare sheets, so I'll be able to do that. And whilst I'm here, I'm also going to try and get this wall here finished off as well. Forgot to do that. And once that's done, we'll get the vegetation done on the tunnel. Okay, the retaining wall is still troublesome, so this could be a job for replacement of this all in the new year, but we shall see how we go with that. It's not ideal for the moment. Don't ever ask me to go and wallpaper your bedrooms though, folks. That one was stuck onto some wood and that's been fine, so it may be that I'll have to put grey board on and then put another bit of grey board on in order to get a perfect fit. But as I say, I can live with it for the moment, but it may even be the case that I've got to put grey board on top of this and then redo it all. But as I say, that's a job for another time. But it's as if the bonding's seemingly just failing with the temperatures. I honestly don't know what's going on, but anyway, look, as you can see, it's proving the same just over here, so bits of it coming out. We'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it. We're going to try a new technique now for the tunnel mouth. I've got to try and replicate the soot above here. I'm going to try and do it in a way I've never done before, and it's dry brushing. I'll have to obviously take the camera away when I do some of this, but I've got, this is a paint I've got from B&M in the past. I think it was B&M I got it from, and what I'm going to do is I've got a white one as well. There we go. One of these I know is from B&M and one of them I know is from Ryman's. I'll mix a little bit of this each onto a bit of paper here, a bit of card. I'll mix them together and then I'm going to just dry the brush, see how it looks, and practice on another bit of scrap paper. If that's all good and well, then I'll do the same again, and then I'll just apply it over the tops of the mouth of the tunnel, the tops of the tunnel mouth there and about there, just to try and replicate the exhaust fumes from the diesel that would be going past. That then will help make the scene look a little bit more realistic. Also as well, you won't see it in there. I'm not going to blacken the tunnel in there. You won't actually see that in there. Whilst I'm here as well, I'm going to add some more of this scatter material, and I've also got an order from Scale Model Scenery, some thistles and ferns as well. A couple, 2 or 3 bits of vegetation. They'll actually also be getting used right along the way along here. That's for another time. We're going to concentrate today on here and on getting this bit all sussed out and done out. When you're dry brushing, I think the tip that I've been given off one person was less is more. So it'll just be a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mix it together, get a sort of nice grey colour, probably a little bit more of this than that, get a nice grey colour, and I'll then brush it on, see how it looks. So if you could just bear with me a few minutes. There we go, so that's up. That isn't actually the first attempt, that's another attempt, and I must confess what I'd done was I didn't like the first attempt when I actually directly put it on, so I cut some, well, I dry brushed onto some more paper, cut it, and I've gave the effect of more severe weathering there than here, simply because more trains would be using this bit than that bit, and also because the turn here is actually closer to the retaining wall, which would cause the smoke to go back anyway. So that's how it is at the moment. I'll keep it like that and we'll just see how it looks. But it's given an idea of lots of sooty atmosphere over the years on it, and probably it's not been cleaned since even the steam days. If I don't like it, I can always just cut bits and put them back in, but it's the best that I can do at the moment. Next thing I'm going to do up here, I've got to wait on more bits coming from scale model scenery, so the next bit that I'm going to do is get some of this vegetation done. We'll get some PVA down, and then we'll get some scatter material down. And once I've got that down, I'll then have to wait on stuff coming from scale model scenery, so I can then put on here as well to finish this bit off. And the extra bits, as I say, are going to get done for this whole area going along here, which will be the subject of another video. And hopefully by that time we'll actually have a better indication of how we're going to do this retaining wall as well. Anyway, that's that. I'll be putting some neat PVA down here first of all, then putting more scatter material down. That'll be grass and then some bushes. Let that dry, then we'll top it down from the top with PVA water mixture. And then that'll dry, and I could start to put the stuff from SMS in. Notice also here it's a little bit of a rocky thing. I'm going to actually leave that there. I'm quite happy with that. Makes it look a bit like a rocky atmosphere. So I'll make a start right now, and I'll get the PVA water mix, the straight PVA down, and then apply my scatter mix. Now the coarse turf that I've put down there and the little bushes, extra bushes I've added in, such as here, they come from Woodland Scenics. And a little point I would say to you is when you're using these products, wash your hands after them, especially with the coarse turf, because it will stain your hands. So just bear that in mind. Always give your hands a wash after using it. The area here is now ready. It's all complete. What I need to do is let that dry a couple of days, and then I'm going to add the PVA water mixture just to hold everything in place at the top. And then that'll be ready for whenever the Royal Mail delivers the stuff that I've ordered from Scale Model Scenery. We'll put some bracken in here, a couple of bits of bracken, and maybe a couple of thistles there as well. And the rest of the stuff will be kept for working along this waste ground. It's going to be along here as well. That's going to be another major task that will be done in the new year, and I think I'll combine that with actually improving this retaining wall a bit as well at certain points, because I think it could do with a bit of improvement work. So we'll do that in the new year. Now it'll take about a week or so before I'm ready to actually get this bit fully done and apply the Scale Model Scenery items once the Royal Mail delivers them, but you won't have to wait that long. You'll just have to wait a few seconds. But if you do want to hold on for another few seconds, can I recommend you check out on Instagram a group from Manchester called The Hara. Zach, Josh and Jack. Zach, their guitarist, Josh, their vocalist and red hair guy, and Jack Kennedy, their drummer. Those three guys are the trio called The Hara, a rock metal band. So check them out please as well. Now this is just about us for this month, so we've got one last job to do. And as regards these signals, the signal gantries, whoops, I've got a possible solution that I'll detail next month to keep them propped up, because it looks like they've slipped again. Let's just see it. Yep. So I've got a solution that will involve propping them up like that, and that'll be detailed for you next month, because I'm not going to get a chance to run the trains at the moment over the next few days. Anyway, we'll get back to what we're going to be doing this month and the end of it all. That's this all here done now. Just needs some bracken and a couple of thistles on it, and then that's the tunnel mouth complete, and that's this update complete. So I've got these from Scale Model Scenery, and you can actually see the codes there, there and there. I'm not going to use all of these today, because I'm going to be using some of them next year on redoing the landscaping here, when I'll also be sorting this wall to make it look a lot better than what it currently is. And I have a solution for that, which I'll explain about next month. You can see I've still got the pins there. I have a solution, but that's going to be all detailed next month. So what we've got here, as I say, I've got lots of thistle tufts, lots of bramble patches, and some bracken ferns, which you could see there. So we'll get a couple of bracken ferns and a couple of thistles up on the tunnel mouth there. Now, I haven't ever used any of these before, so I don't know how they actually go on. One thing I would like to just point out as well, as you can see there, it says the enclosed items are for modelling and display purposes, not suitable for children under 14 years of age. So please bear that in mind with all of this, okay? Now, what I'll do is I'll carefully open up the bracken and we'll have a look at it. Now, there's actually a bit of instructions on here, so we'll have a little check of that. Always important to read instructions. Right. There we go. Put a tiny drop of glue on your baseboard or diorama where you'd like to position each plant. So that'll just be a tiny drop of PVA or U-hoob. Fold and shape the plants carefully with the tips of your fingers. Then use the tip of a sharp craft knife, blade or fine-nosed tweezers. Lift the plants into place. Now, they actually say here that rocket card glue or laser cut kit glue are highly recommended. You can actually weather the plants as well, it says. I won't be weathering the plants here. We're in the midst of summer anyway, and I think there's enough weathering with the diesel reek on the tunnel mouth, so that's what I'll be doing. The thistles, I presume these will actually be the same as the daffodils that's on the layout, and that they'll just be self-adhesive, which will mean it'll be the same for the bramble patches. So I'm going to start on that now. It's going to be a job that will need me to reposition the camera, so I shall do that right now. The noise you can hear, by the way, is my little electric heater. There we go, so something like that, right. I'm going to go off and position the camera, get it onto the stand, and then we'll have a look at this. Right, I don't know if you can just see this. I'll try and get it into the camera as best I can, but that's actually one of the brackens there. So the idea is that you put some rocket card glue, whoops, a wee bit too much there, but that's not to worry. And then this should just stick into place. There we go, so that's it in there. You can't quite see it, but that's on there. I've cut, it's actually just the tips of the bracken, it's actually held on to the paper. We'll get the thistles off now, and as you can see here, I don't know how well you can see that, you can see it definitely now. And yep, these are indeed self-adhesive ones, so they won't need glue on them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick one of the thistles just about there. Now that has actually, oh, that's actually removed it, but There we go, so that's that one on there. And I'll get another bit of bracken now. I'm doing this off camera because to try and show you on camera is a little bit awkward with the camera tripod I've got now. Now, whilst I'm yapping on here, at the start of this month's update I did mention to you about an American country singer who plays the keyboards, Clydebridge. I'm going to finish off this month's update by recommending another one to you. But he's actually not from America, but he's from Lancashire, former British Army veteran, and his name is Preston D. Barnes. And I'd like you to go and give him a check out as well. He's an American country singer, and I'll put the link up in the top right hand corner now to one of his latest tunes, which is called A Little Bit of You, I think it's called. There we go. Now I'll just get the camera up, and I think you can just see there. The glue will take a little bit of time to dry. Now we've got some bracken there and some thistles, so they're not quite obvious, but that is them up there now. So we've got that all in place. As I've got quite a lot of thistles, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put one just near the tunnel mouth, which actually reminds me of the next thing. This, we'll just stick that one there. There we go. And I'll just let you see that there now. See that? So that's that done there. And with me having plucked Preston D. Barnes, I'll put the link to his YouTube channel in the description below. That brings to an end this month's update from Clydebridge Station. The next 3 videos will be worth explaining to you. The next video on this YouTube channel is going to be called Hothfield, and it's going to be something that I've seen in an edition of Motive Power Monthly magazine that I have from 1991. And it's a very good modelling idea for you if you're watching this and think about you want to have your own little layout of a very unusual industrial scene that also happens to double up as a main line as well. So I'll tell you about that. Then, on the 10th of December, I'll be taking a trip up to Cooper to the Cooper Model Railway Club Christmas show at the Corn Exchange. If you're attending the show, why not pop along and say hello to me and give the club your support as well. They'll be delighted if you could do that. And then towards the middle of December as well, will be the December update, when I'm going to be working on the solution for these, which I now have in my head, having seen it on a programme recently on YouTube. And I'll be finishing off the wall here, which I haven't done, and I'll be talking about what's going to happen with this here in the new year. You'll also see from the December update onwards, in fact you'll see from the next video onwards of Hothfield, the new opening titles to reflect the fact that we now have a much improved tunnel. So that's the end of this update for this month. Please check out everybody who I've mentioned to you in this month's update. And thank you very much indeed for watching. I look forward to seeing you very soon for the next video. In the meantime, please, whatever you're doing, do take care of yourselves, won't you, and enjoy your layouts. We'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.